That start, Joe.
Woo! And we thought this was a product made for children. Oh, technical difficulty, folks. Technical difficulty. Okay, so my bad on that technicality there. We're going to get a little better here. Thank you, Chalmers Brothers. That's an old school. Time has come today, which it has, Joe. Which it has.
What has it come time for?
Everybody's favorite segment, everybody's favorite show, the viewer's choice, Joe, at the 99 mark. First off, let me welcome you to the show. Player Association, Joe Lozier. Thank you, sir. You did your job today, and you did it very well, so I applaud you. The league offices are very welcome to have you. We won't get into the details here, but there was some legal stuff, and Joe handled it like a pro. Good arbitration. Joe, welcome next to the show.
Oh! Well, I'm going to welcome everybody watching right now to like and subscribe. Might be
like
too
and
soon.
subscribe.
You haven't seen too much, but will you please introduce us to our unofficial sponsors?
That would be Fireball. The one, the only kiss of the devil that you can get while living. Taste the devil, Fireball. American whiskey, unofficial sponsor, Fireball. Thank you. We're going to give a shout out. And just like that, we're into it. It's the Commish Weekly Recap, Season 4, Week 11, the waivers and preview show. Joe, you gave this a title earlier. You want to say it again?
What?
I know I caught you off guard, but I said earlier. Yeah.
I got you. It's the Clay's got 99 problems, but his viewers aren't one.
99 viewers, ladies and gentlemen. That's the show title. That was a good one on Joe. Welcome back. So we're going to start this show with the waiver wires as we do weekly. First off, we have the Action Jacksons. They drop Zach Ertz, tight end, and Eno Benjamin, running back, Cardinals. Weird situation going on there with Eno Benjamin. Might have to resubscribe to HBO to figure out what's going on by watching Hard Knocks in season. He went ahead and he added Garrett Wilson to shore up that wide receiver room and the Baltimore defense, who Joe spent some time on your roster this season. Anything you want to say there?
R.I.P. Zach Ertz.
R.I.P. Joe, that leaves us to you in the waiver wires. You went ahead and you dropped the Tennessee defense and you added the New York Jets defense. Dude, I like that. Savvy. I think Tennessee could be a good play against the Packers tonight, but you don't want to take that chance against A-Rod, right?
No.
Precisely. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, a hot team right now, ladies and gentlemen, on a 2-game winning streak. He dropped Michael Gallup and Kirk Cousins, wide receiver and quarterback, respectively, to pick up Isaiah Pacheco Chips and Christian Watson, Green Bay Packers. Christian Watson could be big, but I think with the Packers receiver room, it's just going to be 3 guys having a big week intermittently.
With Alan Lazard taking number 1.
Potentially. Boner Pills, you dropped Brett Maher, kicker, and you added Cole Kmet, the tight end. And last but not least, this was the last second thing, big ordeal here. Daniel dropped Tom Brady, and he picked up Nick Folk, kicker. So good for you, buddy. Just friendly reminder, IR is for COVID only. We're an 8-team league, so it wouldn't be feasible to have an IR spot. It just wouldn't be fair. Preview, predictions, and pretentiousness, man. Segment. Joe, love this segment. You love this segment. Everybody at home loves this segment. America's Fantasy Football Game of the Week of the Century game is in this segment, which I can't wait till you hear who it is tonight, and I have reasons.
I can only guess.
Multiple.
But I'll wait for it. I'm at the edge of my seat.
But we will get into the first matchup, Joe. That would be the Fantasy Messiahs 7-3, first place, going against the last place team in Dirty Randy's 2-8 in 8th place, as forementioned. Last matchup between these two, Daniel put up a season high of 181.63 to Mason's 129.55. Ironically enough, that was Mason's second highest total of the year. So he put up a good fight last time. Hopefully that rebounds. I think it will. The storylines in this one to watch, Joe, are going to be if Dan loses this week, there is better than a 50% chance that he will no longer be first place. Joy to the world, the king is dead. There we go, Daniel. That's for you. It's a slow downfall for you, buddy. Like I said, first 5 games 5-0, previous 5, 2-3. Things are not looking good for you, and you lost your best player in Cooper Kupp. R.I.P. Thoughts and prayers.
R.I.P. Cooper Kupp.
R.I.P. Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, and Dallas Goedert.
And Dallas Goedert. Bye weeks and notable IRs in this game. It's going to be the Fantasy Messiahs has Chris Godwin on a bye, Tom Brady on a bye. Well, he's no longer on the team. I'm sorry about that. Let me just scratch that off here. Raheem Mostert on a bye, Jalen Waddle on a bye, Leonard Fournette on a bye, Ryan Suckup on a bye. Ladies and gentlemen, if it sounds like I just named off the entire Buccaneers starting offensive lineup, because it is, I just did. Cooper Kupp is on the IR. That's the other player. Dirty Randy's, you have Mike Evans, who he's been calling Evan lately. It's been ticking me off horribly. He's on a bye, and Marquise Hollywood Brown is on IR, although he might return. He might come off. I think I was reading something on it today. Mage factors, Joe. Mage factors. For the Fantasy Messiahs, I have the bye-pocalypse. This is the bye-pocalypse for Daniel. Half of his roster, and that's no exaggeration, half of his roster is on a bye this week, with his best player also on the IR. So that's not a good combination. This is a very beatable football team, despite what the records show. Mason, Dirty Randy's, I have the Saints players as your mage factor. That's Alvin Kamara and Chris Olave. Those two need to step up, combined 35-plus points between them for you to stand a relative chance in this. Joe, do you disagree with any of those two mage factors?
Well said.
On point. One thought to start, Messiahs, a second wide receiver, because you currently don't have an active wide receiver too. Let's see who else you have to drop. Spoiler alert, nobody's going to pick up Ryan Suckup if you drop him. Nobody wants him. Go ahead and drop him. Pick up a secondary wide receiver, see what you can get. Hit the trade markets.
JK, I have the number 1 kicker. You don't have to worry about it.
Daniel Carlson's no longer the number 1 kicker?
No. Hasn't been for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
I'm have to rethink my whole life here. This is upsetting. I thought he was the number 1 kicker up to this point. If not, he would be off the team because there's no reason to have a kicker if he's not the number 1 kicker. Because special teams don't count.
Jason Myers has been number 1 for like 2 weeks. 2 or 3. 2 weeks.
Yeah. But he's on bye.
This week, yeah.
So I have the number 1 kicker in fantasy this week. Let's go, boys. Yeah, baby. Dickie V. Let's go. Yeah. Great game he called in a basketball game. Thrilling game. 2 overtime finish. That was more exciting basketball than I've watched the Lakers put up in almost 80 quarters this year. One thought to start for the Dirty Randys would be Brian Robinson against Houston. Yeah, they disagree with that. And I have in quotes here as to why. See Derek, I almost said generic Henry again, but it's a new week. See Derrick Henry's game against Houston. 200-plus yards, 2 touchdowns. It's going to be a monster day. Predictions in this one. Joe, who do you have based on those facts?
Dirty Randy's.
Are we going to start off predictions like this?
Because you do as well. Thank you, Fireball, for allowing Clay and I to have the same.
Because I do have Mason as well. I do have the upset alert in this one. That's what it's going to be. Mason pulls off the upset over Daniel. Daniel falls to 7-4 after this game. And if I win, I'm first place. If Andrew wins, he's first place. If John wins and beats Andrew, who we'll get to in a bit, and puts up more points, he might overlap Daniel's number 1. So there's more than a 50% chance, Daniel. Good luck. There's no pressure this week. Smooth as silk.
The one, the only.
Fireball, unofficial sponsor. Action Jacksons.
You don't think that... I apologize for talking. You don't think that they could like sue us for them being
don't apologize
our
for talking.
unofficial sponsor, right?
Well, we're calling them an unofficial sponsor. So therefore, in our words, right off the jump, we can't get in trouble. We're saying they're a sponsor, but it's in a parody way because they're unofficial. It's an oxymoron words.
Sponsor us so you can be our official sponsor, not our unofficial sponsor. And while you're there, like and subscribe.
Thank you. Let's get to 100 views before we start thinking about sponsors here. They're not an official sponsor though, but all legal ramifications are cleared out the window. We are good because we make it a parody, and it's also an oxymoron. You can't be a sponsor or something if you're unofficial.
Okay.
Next matchup, the 1 o'clock windows. We have the Action Jacksons 3-7 in 7th place going against Mr. Rogers. It's all good in the neighborhood, who is 5-5 in 6th place. Last matchup between these two, Action Jacksons lost 129.65 to 144.02. So Tuna has beaten Kumar. This might be a season sweep here. And I'll tell you why. Some of the buys in the IR this week, Action Jacksons have Tua. He's on a bye. Bucks defense is on a bye. Mr. Rogers' neighborhood has Darren Waller on IR. No bye weeks, just Darren Waller on IR. Not bad. He's had Darren Waller on IR all year, so not really makes a difference. Never once put him in the reserve spot, though, so.
Good. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. Did you miss what I just said? Because you were looking down?
I zoned out real quick because Darren Waller is about as efficient as. Okay, continue, please. Thank you.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, sir. Thanks for being here. I love your friendship. Storylines in this one. After their week 4 matchup, Tuna, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, went 0-4 after starting 3-1. Will history repeat itself? If he beats Mahendra today, he might close the season going on a 4-0 losing streak, which would eliminate him from playoffs if they started today.
Which they don't.
Mage factors in this one, Action Jacksons. I have your namesake Lamar Jackson, who may no longer be the most electric rusher at quarterback, but still number 2 and still electric, all the same. Mr. Roger Neighborhood, I have your wide receivers as your mage factors. Justin Jefferson and Devontae Adams are a huge part of your team. And I think if they're hot, if they put up 50 points or almost 60 points like they did last week, I think you're a tough team to beat any given Sunday. What about to start? Action Jacksons, Garrett Wilson versus New England. And the reason I say that is because in his previous matchup versus them, he had 16.5 points, which was his second highest total of the year. You burn somebody once, you can burn them twice in the National Football League. That's the truth.
Yeah,
precisely. He's burned 2 teams now. Mr. Rogers, it's all good in the neighborhood. Your one thought to start would be Christian Watson. Green Bay Packers. Big game last week. Tennessee's pass defense is susceptible. Do I think he gets 140-yard touchdown, 130-yard touchdown? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Both? Like 1 and 1? Like 2 touchdowns?
No, like either or.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, either or.
Okay.
With that being said, right off the jump. Any reasoning behind that, Joe, or you just want to get some silence while I write that in there?
There was dead air, so I just figured I'd give you my prediction.
There was longer dead air than that pause I gave you after you just said Mahendra? Like you couldn't have followed up Mahendra or anything? You want to accuse me of dead air?
Point, Clay. It's very, very,
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, all right.
Yo, that's ironic because I too have Mahindra. Two upsets, back-to-back upsets, and we're going 2-0 in the predictions. There must be a full moon out or something, ladies and gentlemen. This is incredible. Action Johnsons both picked this week by the Swamis. Which leads us, Joe, another shot.
Yeah. Our prime time, 4:30 kickoff?
This is our prime time 4:30 game of the week. And there was some extenuating circumstances next week. There's already a predetermined game of the week next week. I know. It's rigged. There's normally not, but there's a certain week that calls for a game of the week, especially if the game these guys are playing. So therefore, I could not put Andrew, spoiler alert, in the game of the week next week. Which is why he's in the 4 o'clock window. He is the Hillier Holes, who is currently 6-4 in third place, going against the Boner Pills, who is also 6-4 in fourth place. So if the playoffs ended today, Joe Lozier,
which they don't,
they would both be in it. This is a huge matchup. As you can see, why that's why it was so close to be a game of the week. But I just couldn't do it. Last matchup, Hillier Hole won 159.86 to 120.28. Deciding matchup, Jonathan, also a good fight in that one. The buys this week for Boner Pills are going to be Christian Kirk, who has a resurgence of lately on the Jacksonville Jaguars offense, and DK Metcalf, another player who is shocking the fantasy experts by having a great year statistically. Again, the dude is a beast, truly. Trevor Lawrence, literally, I wouldn't approach him.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence is also on a bye, and Khalil Herbert is on the IR for you. Thanks for not having me a reserve spot. I do appreciate that. Hillier Hole, Tyreek Hill on the bye this week. Your best player on the bye this week. That's not good. Joe, you would agree Tyreek Hill, probably best wide receiver in fantasy football this year. Who would you have over Tyreek Hill? Sidebar.
Justin Jefferson is just putting up consistent. I'm not saying Tyreek Hill. I'm not.
Look on your app right now. Who's higher, Justin Jefferson or Tyreek Hill?
Continue while I
will continue while you do that.
DeAndre Hopkins, what? He didn't practice on Thursday?
Uh-oh. You're weak at wide receiver too, bro. Oh, and Alan Lazard's about to play in 6 minutes. So you don't even... The moment of truth, baby. I love the updates. Yes, this is the live action that you cannot catch anywhere else, ladies and gentlemen. Any other fan show is not going to bring you this excitement and this kind of up-to-date news.
I have Alan Lazard starting in Hopkins in my flex. Continue, please.
That's ironic. Okay, let's go. The buys for Andrew are going to be Tyreek Hill, aforementioned, Jeff Wilson bye week, Mike Gesicki bye week, Tyler Lockett bye week, and Dallas Goedert, thoughts and prayers, on IR. Storylines going into this one. The winner of this game could potentially end up in first place. You heard that correctly. If John wins and scores enough points, and if Dan loses, he would be first place. If Andrew wins and Dan loses, and Andrew just puts up technically the same amount that Dan puts up, Andrew's first place. Huge ramifications. Mage factors. Joe, who do we got on those rankings?
The 4.3% of league managers that are starting Tyreek Hill this week. That's who we have. That's a mage factor right there.
Okay, what are the ranks?
Tyreek Hill is number 1. He's had booms. He's had hella booms. He's also had 2 under your token potential.
How many has Justin Jefferson had? I think he's had 3. But my mates are going to be Devil Singletary for Boner Pills. I did have originally that was a Buffalo Snow game. Now that it's in a dome, I do rescind this.
Justin Jefferson has had 2 games under the potential.
Okay, so tied. But he's second place, right?
Jefferson's in third.
So Tyreek Hill is the best, and I would have beat you.
But Jefferson has had 2 30s and 3 in the 20s.
We're past the tuna segment, so that doesn't matter. Tyreek Hill is the better fantasy football wide receiver this year, as his number 1 ranking reflects.
Has only had 4 in the 20s and 1 in the 40s.
Hill, your hole. My main factor for you is going to be Saquon Barkley going against Detroit. Okay? I think Detroit's defense has gotten a little feistier the past couple of weeks. They did kind of contain Justin Fields the best they could, better than Miami did. Better than Miami. Miami's got better defense. Is that, subjectively speaking, is that not true?
Miami's defense does not look as good as it should on paper.
Question was a pause. Okay.
On paper, they should be dominating.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought for some reason I confused the opposite. I was like, well, on paper, they're playing great football. They're top 10 in defensive standings. How can you say they should not be dominant?
They should be more dominant.
Fair enough. And the Bucs defense should have been more dominant, the 3-game losing streak they had.
Don't get me started on the Bucs defense.
There we go. One thought to start in this one, Boner Pills. Cole Comet at tight end. You picked him up. You're probably going to start him. We all know you will. You do have Pat Freiermuth in the starting lineup right now. Don't know why I would do Cole Comet over Freiermuth. It sounds like a Norwegian steak. Freiermuth. I'm going to say it again if you don't stop me, Joe. Hill your hole. My one thought to start for you would be a tight end. Dallas Goedert's on IR.
Oh,
Gesicki is on a bye week. So you're going to have to drop Goddard. Goddard's going to be a free agent again, and I might just swoop in and pick him back up just for the irony of things.
I have a tight end. You want Dulcich?
So with that being said, Joe, who do you got in this match? Nobody wants Dulcich. You were the only idiot to pick up Dulcich. Who do you got in this matchup, Joe?
Hill your hole. No.
Every time I ask you this, it looks like I ask you just name me the 3rd president of the United States. Why is this an issue? You got Hill your hole in this?
Sure, because I can't remember who he's going against.
He's going against Jonathan Boner Pill, 6-4.
Oh yeah, no. Okay, so here's why I'm going with John, because they just moved that game to Detroit, and so imagine Josh Allen in a controlled environment.
I might be able to start Amari Cooper now. All right, here we go. I have Andrew in this one. That's our first disagreement in this one before the snow game was announced. But I still think Andrew can pull this off. He has a deep roster. I do think he can pull it. So this would be probably where we differ at this point.
Is to your first loss of the predictions.
With that being said, this will also lead us into
America's
fantasy
game.
You missed football.
Football
game
of
the
week
of
the
century game. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. The America's Fantasy Football Game of the Week of the Century Game. Everybody loves it. And what better one do we do? We have a rivalry game, ladies and gentlemen. A rivalry name with a name. So it's like the backyard brawl, West Virginia, Pittsburgh. It's like the battle of the Paul Bunyan Axe, Minnesota, Iowa. It's like the battle of the Seminole Oak Canoe Paddle, like the Florida Gators and the Florida State Seminoles play every year, the Doak Walker, whatever you want to call it. This is called the middle school brawl game. Little backstory there, but this is what it is, the middle school brawl. I have known this man since middle school. I have whooped his ass since middle school. This name is deserving in every sense of the word. Every sense. I'm on the chase.
Tell a different story.
I'm on the chase for the Hurts. Me, 6-4 in second place, going against who? But this guy, the NFL Player Association Union representative, who is 5-5 in 5th place. So if the playoffs ended today, Joe,
which they don't,
you would not be in them.
Facts.
Last matchup against these two, allergic to playoffs, came back on Monday Night Football and won the game 148-63, 133-92. He was down 133-92 to 114-63 before the Monday night game and came back for a resurgence dominant win. So, Joe, come from behind win last time. That's what rivalries are made of. That's what you want to see coming into it. Defense got you 34. Absolutely ridiculous. I understand, but I can't talk because the defense that week got me 30. So, all level war.
I think if I remember correctly, it was right after that week, after you were so confident, and then my defense scored 34, and you were like, you know what? Next year, we're gonna adjust this defense.
We're nerfing that in video game talk, like the Halo hat. We're gonna nerf that statistic, so it's just gonna buff a little bit. Storylines in this one: Joe wins. He increases his playoff chances and also sweeps the season series, which may be more important here. You don't make the playoffs, Joe. At least you can say you sweep me, right? That would be my mentality.
I got a hot take.
Nobody's holding you back?
Oh, just kidding. The tiebreaker's points for, not head to head.
Yeah, it is. It was the most points, baby. Let's go, baby. If Clay wins, he has the ability to take first place and further cement himself in the playoff standings. Huge ramifications, ladies and gentlemen. This can make or break either or season. If Joe wins this, he will have. Yes. No, regardless, look, if Daniel loses, we would have 1, 2, 7-win teams, 3 6-win teams. No, 4 6-win teams, 2 7-win teams, and 4 16 wins going into the final 4 weeks of the season.
You are
I know I combine my words there at the end. But 2 7-win teams and 4 6-win teams. If you win this show, Loja, this could be huge. Buys/IR for the week. Amon the Chase has Jamar Chase out, who should return next week. Thank God. And I also have Kenneth Walker the third on a bye. Huge blow.
Yeah.
Huge blow. Yeah. No, you're telling me. However, Joe.
Yeah.
We turn to you, and we have OBJ, who's a free agent, who doesn't have a team, so every week's a bye week for him. Travis Etienne. Not Trevor Etienne, who you see at Florida busting off 90-yard runs. You're not going to see that this week from his brother Travis because he is on a bye.
You're not
also
not going to see it on Thanksgiving from Trevor either. So.
And this is my bad. Normally, I try to alter the schedule so me and Joe's game can fall on the Florida State game and Florida game date. This is my bad this year. I do apologize for that. But yeah, no, that's not going to be the case. He's going to have 100+ rushing yards, guaranteed.
I like how my finger wiggles. Slap it down. I'm gonna do that.
Unlike your man part, we all know it, Joe. You also have the number one kicker in the league, Jason Myers, on bye.
Yep.
Mage factors. Let's do a shot. We're wrapping this up here. We don't got long. We're at 28-minute mark. We got to do this quick. We're going to do a quick shot here, finish this out, round out, because we're getting hot.
Tell me about these mage factors.
I will, Joe. The first one we have is Amon the Chase for the Hurts. Do you know who my mage factor is?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
No.
Jamar Chase.
It's a tiger. It's my favorite tiger. Hey, Tony. I love the things you do. Hey, Tony. 20 more points. I want Tony. Tony the Tiger. Kadarius Toney is my wide receiver. Kansas City Chiefs. Juju Smith-Schuster's out. We saw him last year.
Fuck out.
That was horrible. Absolutely horrible. You shouldn't make fun of jokes about that. which gives all the more opportunity to Kadarius Toney. Joe. Who is your mage factor that I picked for you? Dead air. There it is.
Yeah, dead air. Alan Lazard.
Wrong.
How about a kicker being put
Wrong.
in my mind? What are you doing right now?
I'm waiting for you to guess. Can you guess? Do you give up?
Like from a
Do you give up? Do you give up?
70s dance movie right now. Let's go. Let's go. I give up. Tell me.
Jonathan Taylor is your mage factor because after last week's big game, could he be the #1 overall draft pick that you selected, or will he revert back to his old ways of only getting you below 10 points, going against a hard Eagles front who has now the Dominican Sue? So sue me. One thought to start, Amon the Chase, keep healthy. Allergic to playoffs, I have Alan Lazard over A.J. Brown.
Over A.J. Brown?
You kept him in, and you started Lazard in the flex? What was that news on DeAndre Hopkins, by the way? I'm curious. He just didn't practice today, right? How's Lazard doing right now? I think we're 7 minutes into the Thursday night game.
0 points.
Yes, sir! Let's go! Woo! Yeah, baby! Take my time! Let's go, baby! Joe, with that being said, who do you have for your predictions?
Me! I'm going to kick your ass! Sorry, I can't say that. Sorry, Judith. It's over. It's over.
Did you say Judith?
It hasn't even started. It's over. Yeah, Judith, she calls me and she says, hey, my son listens to your fantasy football podcast. But like, I don't want him hearing the word ass. So like, can you just like stop that? So now I just got to apologize to Judith every time I say ass. Sorry, Judith. I'm going to whoop your ass, Clay. Sorry, Judith. Stole that from the Pat Aaron show. Props. Chef.
Okay. So we're stealing bits from other people's shows, huh? That's how we get.
No, I just kind of went on. A little rant. That was something that actually happened.
Don't care anymore. I'm past it. I'm telling you what I'm about to do for a prediction. Are you ready for this, dude?
Go ahead and tell me. I love you, Pat and Aaron. You guys are incredible. Look at this guy. This guy right here. Okay. Pat or Aaron, going to be the 100th view, and you're about to blow up right after.
I got Joe Lozier in this matchup. I got Joe Lozier for the upset. Keeps his playoff hopes alive, and I want that to happen. I want that to happen for the man, because if he misses the playoffs again, he's only been to 2 playoffs out of 7 years.
And have as many championships as you.
I want all my league office partners to be in the playoffs with me, and I can lose this week, and I can make up for it because I can go on a run. I can beat Jonathan. I beat Daniel before. That's fucking easy. He doesn't even have Cooper Kupp anymore. Get fucked. And I can easily beat Action Jackson's. Respect for the man, no respect for the team. So it's okay, Joe. I'll help you get to the playoffs, buddy. I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
I like your reverse psychology.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. We're running late, Joe. I'm sorry. I ended the waiver sign. We got some off-bar banter. We're going to go with chanter. That's a new name. Put that on a t-shirt. Slap it on it. This has been my co-host, Joe Lozier. Joe, thank you for being a part of this. Do you have any parting words?
Thank you for having me. And I don't care if you liked it or not. Subscribe.
Keep telling people.
Subscribe.
Repetitiveness goes in the brain. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been your host. This has been the unofficial sponsor of the show for the one, the only way to taste the devil, Fireball. Joe, that being said, great prediction week, great show. I will certainly see you next week. I will see you all night. Thanks for being here, everybody. I do not have a show ready to go. So we're just going to go a little bit longer because that's what we do. Yeah, baby. Until it is. And here's the music. Let's go. It's gone. The time has come again. We're still here. We're going to be here, baby. Let's go.
Peace.